What's going on, everyone? My name is Nick Clark. I'm here with my wife, Katie Clark, and we are your hosts for Play Hard and Love Big Radio. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and Sup Shop based out of Folsom, California. Check us out at spotteddogyoga.com. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is dedicated to bringing you the inspirational people and the inspirational stories to help ignite your passion for life. Katie, what's going on and what are we talking about in today's
Nick.
episode? Hey, what?
We're talking about a question actually from a listener, which is how to handle negative people.
All right, well, go ahead. What do you think? How do you handle negative people?
Well, I learned a lot about this topic from you, actually.
Oh, well, thanks. That's a nice compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment. So you're just a very positive person naturally. You're a very understanding person naturally, which are two things that don't necessarily come naturally to me. And so what I've learned from you is that in the way that you handle negative people is generally you always say, like, kill them with kindness, kind of thing. And I think, well, that's one way, right? Because that doesn't always work. But I think that works in situations where you maybe don't know the person as well. Like if you're at the grocery store and the checker is like being kind of like rude or not nice. If you're like really nice and take the time to talk to them, then generally they shift the way that they're speaking. And maybe you help them have a better day from that point forward. So I think that tactic works really well in that situation. People that you don't know as well. I don't know, maybe you have something to say about that.
Well, I mean, I think in general, most people that I run into in daily activities, whether I know them or not, I do my very best to just see them as another person and not have any preconceived ideas around who they are. And, people are always carrying their own baggage and have different things going on in their life that I have no idea around what it is that's going on with them. And since I'm not in their shoes and I really don't have any idea what's happening with them, if I just show up and listen to them and communicate with them the very best that I can, typically what I find is that people who are like upset or angry or irritated or frustrated, they seem to kind of relax in my presence. And that doesn't mean that they will ultimately be my best friend or that they're going to like me or that we're going to get along. But, really, I think just being there present with them and seeing them as a person and listening to them is a helpful tool. Most people just want to be listened to.
Yeah. And you're like the king of turning a situation around. Like anytime we have a problem or like something like a complaint with like, say like our internet provider or like a cell phone provider or whatever, and we need to like sort that out, I always have Nick call because it's a gift that you have to make people, like you said, make people feel relaxed. So I think and that's because you do listen and you are kind, where some people might have a reaction to somebody that's being negative. You have more, I think, patience to do the listening and to have the compassion and the kindness. One thing that came up for me when you were talking is an exercise that we do in a lot of our trainings, which is that writing down like all the things that you have a problem with about somebody. So this would be in the instance of somebody that you know more, well, like you know them better. It's not just somebody that you come across like at the grocery store or whatever. It's somebody that's in your life. and you write down like everything that is wrong with them, everything that you have a problem with about them, why you have a problem with it about them, and you probably what you write down will be like all their fault. That's usually how it goes. And then you like write down, I don't know everything there is to know about this person. And I think you said it, like you don't know what kind of things people are carrying around. And so you don't know what someone's dealing with when you have an interaction with them. And so having that ability to slow down, listen, and have that compassion and kindness goes that extra mile. And if you think of it in that sense.
Yeah, totally. Self care has a whole lot to do with it too, because I mean, I think a natural quality I have is the ability to make somebody feel safe and around me and to share whatever they need to share and whatnot. But I also can be reactive. I mean, obviously, in our relationship, there's been times when I've been reactive. There's times in life when I've had interactions with people where I've been reactive and I haven't had communication that I haven't been satisfied with the communication when I look back at it. And a majority of the time when I have reactions to people and their stuff, it's because I'm just haven't been taking care of myself. Haven't been sleeping well enough. I haven't been nourishing my body. I haven't been working out. All the different things that go into me feeling good and being connected in my center. Like I'm not playing hard, and a sense I'm not playing hard, and then I'm not loving big. I'm not open to being there and listening to people, and so when you talk about that exercise, what's really funny and very interesting about just humans in general, right, is that, like you said, people initially they want to point fingers at people about what's wrong with them and what they're doing wrong and all those different things, and ultimately they people find at the end of it is that those things that they have an issue with people are things that they've made up about that person based off of a certain situation. All right. I mean, people have that kind of a breakthrough with that exercise, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not something that's made up. Like, I mean, if someone says something nasty, that's not a made up thing. But
Right.
the key is like separating what was said that was nasty from the person, right? Like, that's not who the person is. Like,
Hmm.
their words are not who they are, in the sense that like your words create your world. So like if a person's being negative and saying nasty things, they're creating that energy, but that's not like who they are in their core, so it's separating like the words said from the person, and understanding that you don't know the situation or what led up to them being in that moment and saying those words. And so I think it's just kind of like, I mean, you said like you react sometimes, and it's true, but like very much less than me. Like I'm generally like naturally just like a more reactive person, more intense, like more passionate in some senses. Like sometimes I'll be saying something to you, and I'm just like excited about it, and it comes off wrong, comes off like I'm mad or like intense or whatever. And so I think, dealing with negative people from my perspective as someone who is like more reactive, I've had to really separate what people say from who they are and really focus on who I know someone to be. Um, and try not to let the words become more than they are.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. We can place so much attention on words, but words are so powerful too. It makes me think of just the importance of really paying attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it. A lot of times people are just so unconscious to what it is that they're saying that they don't even realize that they're being negative. They just don't have that awareness. It's just something that's been programmed in them because from experiences or things that they've done habitually. And then next thing you know, they're negative and they don't know it. And, you see them as negative, but they don't see themselves as negative. They just see themselves as they are. So paying attention to your words that you're using on the daily, and noticing if you're speaking in a way that is uplifting, or if you're speaking in a way that actually is like negative, or the tone in which you're speaking can help shine a light on how you can shift your language so that you can actually use your words and make an impact in a way that really lifts people up.
Well, right. And if you're doing that, then especially around someone who is negative, then hopefully the hope is that they start to hear their own words more because they're hearing what you're saying and you're positive and you're encouraging and your words. And so then the hope is that someone that's complaining and negative is hearing that, and it somehow shifts for them as well because they see the contrast.
Yeah, that is the hope. I mean, in general, that's been my experience, that if I'm positive around someone who is negative, that kind of rubs off on them. But then also there's the times when there's people that are super negative and you've tried for a long time to be super positive around them. And then what they really need is someone to kind of just like disrupt that pattern, and they need someone to say, hey, you're being negative about this. And right, I mean, sometimes you have to kind of change your tone as a person to disrupt the negative energy so that they can actually get out of their head and start to realize that they're being like that.
Yeah, and that's just being willing. And it depends on who the person is. You wouldn't do that with like that some random person that you encounter at the grocery store, but someone that's really close to you, you might have to say something. Yeah, I mean, but then you also have to like have it too, like you could say something, but there's also that thing about just accepting someone as they are and as they are not. And like I don't want to say like some people are just negative, but some people are so stuck in the pattern, what you were talking about earlier about they don't even know they're being that way because it's just how they have been
Right.
for so long. They don't
Right.
even know, and they're stuck in that pattern. And it's not like your job to fix or change them. It's really what it is it's your job to take care of yourself. And if they cause you like distress, then like having a different mentality about that, like accept them as they are and as they are not. Know that that's what you're going to get when you talk to them. And, like rather than trying to change them, just have like some compassion, for them. I mean, you just don't know what they've had going on or they've had in their life. And I think, you know, I think there's something to that.
Yep. I mean, we've all had different experiences in our life, and at any given moment, that energy could easily come off. And if we hold that against people and hold that against mankind, like the negative energy that comes off in a fleeting moment, then we would not be really giving people the respect they deserve, right? Because I mean, there's a level of humility there, like to see and understand that somebody has something going on. They've got this coming out through their words, through their energy, and it's like, okay, just let it come. Don't attach to it. You don't have to take it on for yourself. Just let it be there. Let it be as it is. Let them be as it is. And then they'll have their own journey, and they'll have their own experience and understanding how to shift it if they want to shift it. And maybe they won't shift it. And that's just the way that will be for them. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and ultimately it's up to you if depending on who the person is to you, it's up to you of how do you take care of yourself properly to where it doesn't impact you and like your health, because being around someone that is habitually negative that and letting it impact you is like detrimental to your health. It's up to you of like, is this relationship worth me working on myself so that I'm not having the reaction to this person and I can still be around them as they are and as they are not? Or is it like the kind of thing where, it's something that I feel is important enough to put that effort towards, and maybe that person isn't the right person to have in your life. And it just depends on your situation and who that person is to you and what your decision is in that regard.
Yeah, that's like interesting as it makes me think. I mean, there's the like an individual to individual relationship, one person to another person, but then there's also like organizations. And I think about Spotted Dog Yoga as an example of our experience as a place that's upbeat, it's colorful, it's cheerful, it's vibrant, and we do things a certain way and we do them a certain way because the way we do things works. And the people that have been around Spotted Dog Yoga for a long time, they understand that it works, and that's why they keep coming back. But there has been people over time that have come in and they, for some reason, shape or form, whatever experience it is that they have had going on in their life, like that positive, upbeat, vibrant energy for some way, in some way, shape, or form, rubbed them the wrong way, and it didn't fit for them. And for some reason, the organizations like that tend to kind of push people out so that the right people can come in and create the vibe of a space.
Well, yeah, it's just like attracts like. So if that's what someone's looking for, then they'll gravitate towards it. And if it's not, then they move and go somewhere else.
There you go. So you got to be careful with the people that you got in your life and that you hold close to you. But then those people that you run into on the daily that are, have some different things going on in their life, you just got to have some humility and let them be as they are. And uh, everything will unfold the way that it's supposed to unfold.
Yeah, I saw this thing. It was like, show me 5 smokers and you'll be the sixth.
What does that mean?
Like, whoever you surround yourself with is how you're going to be. Like, if there's 5 smokers and those are your friends, you'll be the sixth.
Got it. So yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
important to look at like who you're putting your energy toward, what kinds of businesses you're patronizing. Are they aligned with who you are? I mean, all that stuff matters in your life as a person, as an individual. So who you surround yourself with, where you go, what you do, your habits, all that stuff is going to impact you. So it's good to take a look at that.
Oh, well, that makes me really grateful that I have the people around me in my life that I do. And
Yeah, me as well.
yeah, so, well, thanks. Good conversation, Katie. Hey,
Yep.
everyone, thank you so much for sharing Play Hard and Love Big Radio. Based off the numbers, we're growing, and that means that you're sharing. And that's the only way that we grow. If you get any value from these podcasts and you feel like there's somebody else in your life that could get value from them too, please share them with them. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and Sup Shop based out of Folsom, California. You can check us out at spotteddogyoga.com. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is dedicated to bringing you the inspiring people and the inspiring stories to help you ignite passion and fire in your life so that you can go out and do the things you love with the people that you love. This podcast is available on all the major platforms, and you can watch the video podcast uploaded to our publish new episodes and shorts on the daily. We're dropping shorts on the daily. Thanks, everybody, for checking out Play Hard and Love Big Radio. Thank you, Katie, for another awesome episode. See you
Thank
on the
you,
flip
Nick, for
side,
getting all
people.
of that out in one breath. Good job.